Folks, it appears as if we have reached an all-new level of creepy with what's going on. Seriously, yesterday I had a very private dinner meeting with a very high-ranking, very top clearance government individual who, after telling me that they were not going to tell me anything about what's going on with these drones and whatnot, slipped and actually told me a little bit more about what was going on. I don't think they caught themselves even doing it. And it connected a couple of more dots for me. And I went back to something that somebody emailed me just a couple of days ago, a very credible source. We've used her before, First Sergeant Stormy. And a lovely lady up in upstate New York sent me, she nailed it. She says it. She's like, and I'm getting ready to read that to you. And listen, you might not like what I have to say, and you might not like the way that I say it. I accept that, but these are facts, okay? So before I get to that, I'm pointing out that today's video is brought to you in part by, and this will explain why I'm out here looking like the evil old witch in Snow White and the Seven Dwarves who gives the apple. That's what some people say I look like Hugh Hefner in my robe, but I like to do this and say, no, actually I'm like the witch with the apple. Here, have the apple. Brought to you in part today by Sierra Madre. They are an outdoor survival type company who contacted me some time ago and asked if I'd be willing to do a demo video for a couple of their products, namely their survival emergency sleeping bag and their life-saving purifying straw. And I was like, sure, send them. And listen, I already love this company because they're easy to work with as a content creator. After I said, yeah, I'll do it, they said, all right. They sent me the contract. They said, here, sign this contract, sign up for affiliate marketing with our company and blah, blah, blah. I replied, nope, not going to do it. And let me make my mud shake while I'm talking and explaining this because I want to test the straw. So this is just water, distilled water. And then I've got some dirt here. I'm going to make a mud shake. And I'm going to drink it with the straw. And it's supposed to filter the dirt and all the impurities out of it. And I'm supposed to just get water. So you're going to actually see this done in real time. So I emailed him back. I said, nope, sorry, I don't do contracts and I'm not doing any more affiliate marketing programs. And it's because two things. Number one, when you sign a contract with a company, they will literally send you a script. And they will tell you how many videos per month or per the contract they want you to make. And I'm done with that. And I told them, I'm already an established content creator. We've got 1.5 million followers across the various social media platforms we do. I've worked very hard to get here, and I run my show the way I want. I don't give sponsors any control over it. I don't give viewers any control over it. For every one of you that unsubscribes because you see something you don't like, 3 others will take your place. And in time, they'll unsubscribe, and then 3 more for every one of them. That's just how it goes. And if that hurts your feelings, well, them's just the facts, Jack. So anyway, and then plus all the affiliate marketing things, every tax season is just a nightmare. I get literally dozens and dozens of 1099s. My CPA, who's a great guy, is like, Kevin, you know, this is why you pay more money in taxes every year than the average American household makes, and you send in your quarterlies, but this is why you still owe almost that same amount because he and I both forget or are unaware of what I've marketed and sponsored. Like, I did a chainsaw a few years back. I forgot about it until I got to 1099. I'm like, I made how much money where? But yeah, so anyway, but listen, I explained that to these people, and they sent me back another email and said, you know what, we get it, we understand that. We'll send you some samples of our emergency life-saving products anyway. You don't have to sign a contract. You don't have to sign up for our affiliate marketing program. We just like you to reach your audience because we believe that what you're doing is important, and this can really help the folks that are watching your videos. Gotta watch it. Social media can be deemed as a threat. Now listen, these things are inexpensive. The sleeping bags are roughly, I mean, you can get a 2-pack for $12.99, and the straws are, I think, $17.99. Nothing here is expensive. Look at this, real dirt. All right, and I'm gonna make it strong like I do my coffee. So put this in here, mix it up. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. There's my mud shake. Now, I'm going to let that just kind of perk or whatever. We're going to let it sizzle. Let it sizzle. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to test his sleeping bag, and I'm going to tell you about the conversation with the secret agent and read a couple of the stories here that connect the dots. Now, these sleeping bags are really awesome. And again, there's a lot of knockoffs out there. This is the premier company, Sierra Madre, as far as these things go. So you might be able to get, and I looked on Amazon, and I'll put the Amazon links for these products in the description box here. And I am an Amazon affiliate marketer, but I already have that $10.99 coming, so I don't mind. I was just going to have bigger numbers on it for my CPA to crunch next year, since we're already into the new year. So, but yeah, you can get 2 packs of these for, I think, $12.99, whereas the knockoff competing brands, you only get one for like $9.99. So this is the better deal. I think you can get a 5-pack for $32.99, but you'll be able to see from the link. But listen, I'm going to get in this thing and take off all my clothes. That's why I came out in my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs robe. Now, how do I open it? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Now, here's some features with this thing. Let me take this thing off. I'm going to take all my clothes off while I'm in here. I got to be in the bag first, though, or that totally will be inappropriate content for this platform. It's funny. Well, it's actually not funny. Let me kick my boots off. Ta-da! See that? Slip in here. Remember that ZZ Top song? Slip inside my sleeping bag. Wow, this is neat. I feel like I'm getting into an aluminum bag, which pretty much I guess I am. There's my other boot is off. All right, so let's get in here. Now, I feel like Howard Houdini. I'm in here doing some. So this bag will retain up to 90% of your body heat. And, you know, it's interesting. The straw, I want to point out one of the features of the straw. You are not supposed to use it with, they say freezing water, but there's no such thing because that would be ice. But I guess water that is near freezing temperatures, okay? And FYI, I'm already warm in here. So, look, I took my pants off. There's my pants. Put them over here in one of my boots. All right. Bear with me, folks. I'm getting to it. Hey, the things you do when you're a content creator and you get sponsorship offers you're actually interested in. Let me take my shirts off. All right. All right. Hey, you did see that, right? I had a t-shirt on underneath, and then, I mean, look. Show you a little shoulder. Like it's a 1950s romance movie, and that's all you were allowed to show back then because the FCC would take you off the air if you showed more. All right. Because you never know. These social media platforms are getting just as restrictive. So here I am. I do have my boxers on because I think it would be inappropriate to show you those, so I'm not going to. But I'm perfectly warm, and it is 22 degrees Fahrenheit out here now. And I feel perfectly fine, and I'm going to make this whole long video like this, okay? Now, I feel a bit thirsty. I just had a delicious bowl of curds and whey for breakfast, but I'm parched. I need to cleanse my palate. So, I'll mix up my mud shake a little bit more. Look at that. You clearly see this. You watched me do this, right? This is organic potting soil for some indoor gardening we're doing over the winter. All right, here's how this works. You simply take the cap off. It's a simple product, and it does come in a resealable little pouch. And FYI, you can, these straws are good for up to roughly 1,000 liters. So you want to keep track of how much you do use this because it does need to be replaced after about 1,000 liters. So, which is a lot, but it works just like a straw. You suck on it. There's a filter on the bottom, like a screen, and then a filter throughout the system. And now I read the instructions. They're very simple. There's like 4 or 5 little sentences, easy to understand. One of the things you got to do is once you take a drink through it, say you drink through it, you got to blow out to make sure you get anything out that might be stuck in there. So here's our mud shake, okay? My right arm is getting a bit cold because, like I said, it's 22 degrees out here. But here you go. Let's test it out. I'm going to try not to blow it out on my clothes. Okay. Can you see my mouth? It's empty. Watch. I'm going to stick it down where the mud is, okay? I spit it out so you can see I am taking the water in. Look at that. You see that mud come out? FYI, it tasted like pure water, and I'm getting ready to drink some. I just want to show you I'm really doing this. So again, you see all the debris, the silt and the mud coming out of that? Now I'm going to get some. I'm going to gargle again, and then I'm going to swallow it, okay? Nothing but water. Because there's the yuck. There's the filth, okay? So, hey, 2 thumbs up. I give this Sierra Madre, these emergency products, 2 thumbs up. The straw works exactly how it's supposed to work. You saw me mixing up a cup of mud. And then this thing, the only thing I'm wearing is my boxers and my socks. And it's 22 degrees out here, and I'm perfectly warm, okay? And the fact that it's blaze orange is a benefit, because let's say you get out lost in the woods. This is so beneficial for, what we're talking about. We're talking about people getting abducted, loss of time, coming to in an area where they weren't before they were like passed out or knocked out or something happened that they can't explain. It'd be nice to have one of these in your backpack or in your pocket, wouldn't it? And they're small products, so they're easy to carry in, easy to carry out. I actually told them, okay, here, since you're not making me do the contract, and I'm not going to sign up for affiliate marketing, you want me to do this anyway, will you please send me 3 of each product? And they did. Because in our truck, we keep not a bug out bag, but an emergency kit. We've got, from some of our other sponsors, it's all been put together by sponsors. We've got an air machine in case the tires, run out of air, or get flat. We've got we recently reviewed a jump starter for a battery. We keep that in our kit. Now we've added these to our kit that we keep underneath our truck seat. And we also have a change of clothes and some non-perishable emergency type foods. Because, look around me. You can be out in nasty weather and you can have a reliable vehicle like we do. We keep it maintained and take good care of it, but anything can happen. You always got to be prepared. Now, what was this conversation? What was said in regard to these invisible drones and alien crafts, etc.? Let's get to it. First, I'm going to read a brief email that was sent in because she nails it. This isn't First Sergeant Stormy. She's coming up. This is a wonderful woman named Lynn up in upstate New York. She says, "Hi, I love your show. Just started watching. I live in upstate New York. I've been seeing drones for a couple of months over apartments. About 2 weeks ago, when I came outside about 9 p.m., it smelled terrible, like extreme sulfur, and the neighbors also noticed. We thought there was a sewage leak, so I went outside a few times to check on the smell. I had experienced this in Hawaii before on Big Island, as I live near a volcano. So around 12:30 a.m., I went outside again, and this really sickly fog was everywhere, and it smelled like ammonia and chemicals. Something told me to get back in the house, and I still stayed outside for about 10 minutes. I knew it was very bad. So anyway, the next day I had burns kind of all over my face and my eyelids. Red welts everywhere on my face and neck. My face and eyes were swelling and burning for days. Next day, my eyes were almost shut and I could barely see for 2 days. I felt very sick and super dizzy for a week. All the skin on my face felt hot and hard. Fast forward 2 weeks now. The skin peeled off my whole face. When I get my face wet, it feels like there's glass on my eyelids. When I use eye drops, it still burns very bad. My whole face looks different under my eyes. It has like swollen water bags that go to my cheeks. It burns still everywhere. When I go outside, it still burns. I knew it was from the fog, as my inner voice that night told me to go in. I'm allergic to sulfur and ammonia also. I was very afraid my vision would not come back. I got to switch hands because it is 22 degrees out here and this one's getting cold. FYI, if you ever wondered how those tiny little birds stay warm in the winter, it's because they alternate which leg they perch on. They'll literally stand on a tree. Watch them next time. It looks like they're perched one-legged like a stork. It's because they are in cold weather. They keep one leg up insulated in their feathers to stay warm, and then when the other one gets too cold for it to be comfortable, they'll alternate legs. So that's what I just did with my hand. We can learn so much from observing nature, and you can Google that. That's another fact. All right. I was very afraid my vision would not come back, she continues. I did not go to the doctor because I thought they would think I was crazy. So I was trying to find out if anyone's face did this and came across your channel the day you lost your beautiful quails. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm used to seeing drones for years now. It's very disturbing about all this. Listen to what she says here. I think we are at war in plain sight. Keep that in mind. Thank you for what you're doing. It is very courageous for you and your family. Get used to being gang stalked by drones as I have had to get used to myself. I'm proud of you, and I'm definitely hoping to hear if anyone had these extreme facial burns. I'm going to have my girls make me an I Got Fogged t-shirt, LOL, but not too funny. Yeah, and go ahead and make that t-shirt, but you be prepared to be gang stalked by the folks who are totally following this. And that's part of the story too with the gentleman I had the conversation with yesterday. So here's the conversation, and I'm going to read First Sergeant Story Stormy because she nails it too. She sent me this a few days ago, and I thought, well, I haven't really heard anything about that until yesterday when I did. So I was meeting with a very high-ranking, super top clearance government official, and it's a personal friend. They know what I do, and they know what I've been doing. And so the topic came up. And I said, what can you tell me that maybe, I haven't been told or that maybe my viewers haven't brought up yet in the emails? And he smiled and he says, Kevin, I'm going to tell you the exact same thing that I tell two of my cousins who are extreme conspiracy theorists. I said, what's that? He says, I'm not telling you nothing. And then he laughed. So we just kept talking, and he warned me of some dangers, and I'm aware of these dangers, and we've been seeing them here on the channel lately. It has nothing to do so much with the government as it does the people who, listen, this guy actually works in the conspiracy theorist department, okay, with the federal government. You are being tracked. A lot of you folks have said, I know they're watching me. I know they read everything I write on my computer. Yeah, you're right. They do. And it is for two reasons. Number one, they are watching out for extremists that pose a threat. Okay, like the 28-year-old winter who was living in his mom's basement with a unregistered firearm who decided to threaten the lives of me and my family about a week or 10 days ago. People like that, trust me, you send out an email like that, they're going to be at your door before the person you emailed probably even opens that email and reads it. But it's also for another reason. Number two, and this guy told me, you guys and girls being conspiracy theorists actually figure a lot of stuff out before they do. Without knowing it, you are actually helping the government agents and agencies who are in charge of these things by connecting dots they're not quite seeing. Yeah. So they're not watching you because they're out to get you. They're only going to come get you if you're out to get someone else. But understand, you're actually helping them do their job. So with all that said, and because he was warning me, he says, Kevin, some of these people are nuts. And I was like, yeah, I know. I already got a death threat. And he said, yeah, I'm aware of that. And I was like, what, did you see that video? And he said, no, I'm aware of that. I was like, okay. So then we start talking about other things. We dropped this subject. And then he asked me a question. He goes, hey, Kevin, I'm curious about one thing, though. And I said, what's that? He says, have you had anybody email you or mention on your channel about hearing what sounds like a jet engine, not a propeller engine, but like one of the turbo engines, like starting up as if it's getting ready to take off for flight, like just in the middle of anywhere, like say the middle of the woods, your backyard. And I'm like, I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm not sure. he says, pay attention. He says, see if anybody emails you about hearing like a jet engine taking off. And he said, particularly watch for reports where people claim their dogs hear it, and even their neighbors' dogs who should be out of hearing range hear it. And I asked him, I said, have you guys been getting reports of this, or have you seen these things happening? And he smiled and he says, like I tell my two cousins who are extreme conspiracy theorists, I'm not telling you anything about my job. And then he smiled, and I know what that smile meant. So folks, have you experienced that? Have you experienced what literally could potentially be invisible craft, or craft that maybe you see for just a second and then a few seconds later it's gone, as if it disappeared or if it wasn't even there at all? Let's read First Sergeant's story now. And again, not only am I warm, but my back is starting to sweat and stick to this bag. Yeah, and it's literally 22 degrees out here right now. And even though the sun is up, it's still early morning in my part of the world. I'm sitting in the shade, and I'm toasty in this bag. No, I'm not overheating, but I am very comfortable. And you saw I took my toboggan off my head. By keeping this over my head, I'm holding my head heat in, and my head's not even cold. This is great. Now, here's what First Sergeant Stormy sent me a couple of days ago. I got to get my hand back out because I have to hold it. I pretty much can't see anything, foot and a half or so. From a foot and a half, it's got to be about 2 feet out. It's my vision thing. It's a combination of age and staring at computer screens and phone screens for too long. I really should retire from this. I'm starting to wind things down. The members of the channel, and thank all of you who have become members. You know all about that because I've been talking about that in the members only videos. I appreciate you, by the way. All right, so First Sergeant Stormy writes, Kevin, I've been holding back on sharing my additional experiences to assure others get their due attention. Now I must share more because of how intertwined people's experiences are from around the world. 2 years ago, my neighbor, a hearing aid veteran neighbor, so he has hearing issues, was on the phone with me discussing his disability claim. I help denied veterans get their due benefits. I am currently at $500,000 in back pay alone with 7 veterans. It's a first sergeant innate skill. Hey, if there's any vets out there that's been denied by the VA, I hope First Sergeant Stormy doesn't mind me saying this, but maybe you should get in touch with her. She might be, sounds to me like she could help you get what you're due. She is a member of this channel, and I'm not saying this to plug membership, but join membership. When we do the live chats, we're doing one tonight at 7 p.m. This is January 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got another members only live chat, and I did figure out how to have that be a members only. So all you tons of members that have signed up, I hope you join. But jump on there, ask First Sergeant Stormy for help. She's offered to help me, just putting that out there for you, and I'm sure she'd be willing to help you if you're a veteran and you have a DD 214, which means you actually served, okay? So, she says, while talking on the phone, I started hearing a sound like several Chinooks flying by. I asked, do you hear that? He said no. Then I could feel it, like loading up on a powered up Chinook. So kind of like a Chinook engine powering up. I asked him if he could feel that, and that it kind of makes the ground vibrate a little bit. He said no. I looked up to see what looked like a space station, or the space station burning in and crashing. I'm assuming through the atmosphere she means here. I ran in to get my binoculars to see it better. Regretfully, being an old timer, I forgot my phone could record it. And FYI, a lot of you young whippersnappers out there who want to bash people who have the courage to come forth and tell their stories say, oh yeah, well, why didn't you take a picture? Why didn't you take a video? Let me tell you, those of us born in the 1900s always forget that this phone we keep in our pocket has that technology on it. I didn't have my first cell phone until I was in my 30s, and that was a flip phone. The only reason I finally broke down and bought an iPhone, not until the year 2019, I think, was because I dropped my flip phone in the field on Halloween one night and couldn't find it. And then when I did, 2 or 3 days later, it had been rained on and it didn't work. So I finally broke down and got an iPhone. I had this channel up and running before that, and I made my videos on a used digital camera I got at the Goodwill for $3. No kidding. No kidding. And I talk about that when I make videos about why everybody should have a YouTube channel. I know people that have gone out and spent thousands of dollars on recording equipment and lighting and never even got enough subscribers or views or watch time to be monetized. And they're like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, well, one thing, you're spitting away all kinds of money you don't need to. And then when I tell them I made my first viral video, that one's got over 6 million views and has made over $30,000 by itself. I mean, more than my truck cost. Off of a $3 camera, they get ticked off and they don't like me anymore. Come on, folks. Anyway, my point of that is sometimes us old people forget that we have these phones and they do all this amazing stuff, okay? So go easy on us. Always remember, we taught you kids how to use a spoon, okay? Onward with First Sergeant's story. Then she writes, I turned away for 3 seconds to grab my binoculars and it was gone. I hung up with my neighbor and immediately called our local news channel to give them a heads up. There should still be a recording of that call. I bet there is. I told them everything and they laughed at me. I know what I saw, felt, and heard. I am not deterred because of your dedication and hard work to get people's stories heard. I keep watch on the skies when we don't have fog. I will email you my personal pictures of plasma rings in space and give only you the rights to them. More later, First Sergeant Stormy. P.S. Does anyone else experience a plethora of experiences? Like once you have one, the floodgates are open. That's what she wrote. I'm going to address that P.S. she wrote there. Stormy, First Sergeant, I've been dealing with paranormal, supernatural, cryptids, UFOs, abductions, all this stuff, ever since, for a long time. Just really publicly with the advent of this channel. And it is common theory that once you have, if you're a seer, if you're a hearer, because listen, some folks are just never going to be able to see or hear this stuff, even if it was right in front of them, because they just don't have what it takes to do it. A lot of it is because they're just simply closed-minded. And the guy I was talking with yesterday, the government agent, he warned me about it. He said, listen, here's the thing about conspiracy theorists, and this is what makes them dangerous. Take any given conspiracy theory. There's typically a school of thought for that theory. As long as you follow that school of thought, they will love you. The minute you veer off of that school of thought in any direction, they will hate your guts. And if they are mentally unstable, they can be dangerous. I was like, yeah, I know that. He says, okay, just make sure you understand that. Well, it's people like that he described, the ones that can potentially be dangerous. They will most likely never have these experiences because they are too closed-minded to open up that door within the mind that's necessary to give opportunity to see, hear, and feel these things. However, those who can and do see, hear, and feel these things typically do have multiple experiences because they can and do see, hear, and feel. So, there you have it, folks. Again, I've been sitting in this bag, it looks like, for almost 20 minutes. The sun did come out from behind the treetops over there. It is hitting me directly. I am perfectly comfortable. The temperature, now that the sun's hitting me, it might be up to 25. It's still well below freezing. I'm still perfectly comfortable in here. I'm a bit parched, so let me go back to showcase this again. Again, here's my mud shake. I'll look at that. See that? The spoon was frozen to the log. That's how cold it is out here. But I'm warm. Take the cap off again. Take another sip. Nothing but clean water. Because there's the sludge. Hope you enjoyed the video. Continue to send me your stories with your permission to share. Y'all be safe out there. Again, thank you to everybody who signed up to be a member. We are having a live stream for members only tonight, January 14th, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Can't wait to talk to all of you there and hear your stories. And again, since it's members only, you will not have to worry about bots and trolls and haters and whatever. This is so comfortable. I'm going to sit out here for quite a bit longer. I might actually sit here and take a nap.